All right, y'all, so it's story time. Remember when I cut my husband's locks back in January, and I wanted to show you guys how I maintain his locks when it's time for a retie, and also he's experienced a good bit of new growth since we've done his cut in January, and I wanted to show you guys a progress pic or a progress video of how his locks are coming along. So in the beginning of the video, you see that I started his process off with detangling, adding some moisture with my continuous mist spray bottle, and then also isolating lock by lock and doing his retie. His locks usually takes me 4 to 6 hours, but for this particular retie, I got my niece involved. She's my niece, but she's also like my daughter because she lives with us. And all of us have Microlocs. My husband's locks is about 15 years old. My niece's locks is about 2 years old, going on 2 years. My locks are going on 4 years, and my son's locks are going on 7 years. So all of us have locks, and she helps me to do my husband's locks and my son's locks when she's available. And I do her locks when I'm available, as well as my own retie. So we take turns doing each other's hair. For the most part, I do almost everyone's hair, but she helps me do my husband's hair and my son's hair, and occasionally my hair. But because I'm the mama, I usually do everyone's hair. But on this particular day, she helps me do my husband's hair, and she hadn't done his hair for a very long time. It had been probably a couple of years since she had done his hair, and I was teaching her how to do his hair in the way I wanted it to be done because she hadn't done it for so long. I do my best to do my husband's hair maybe every 2 to 3 months. He doesn't like a fresh scalp look, so he prefers, a fluffier root because he doesn't like it to look too scalpy. So I usually do his hair maybe 3 to 4 times a year. I would say maybe every quarter. A few years ago, I only did his hair twice in that year, and he did not like that. He was very upset and did not like that. He likes it done at least once a quarter. But because we live in the tropics, sometimes his hair grows like wild weed. And literally, I think his last retie was probably about 2 months ago. So he gets more frequent reties because we live in the tropics. So because of the high humidity, he's always sweating. His hair tends to grow a lot, and he experiences frizz a lot. So his last retie was probably around March or April, and this retie happened. This video is a few weeks old. This retie happened, I think, at the beginning of July, so probably about 2 to 3 months. Not too bad. But for this video, my niece was helping me do his retie because I was probably cooking or working, one or the other, and I asked her to help me do his retie, and she obliged because she also wanted her hair done. So I'm teaching her how to wrap his hair down because I like to have the shaft of his locks nice and smooth. So if you're still watching the video, this is where I slow down a little bit so you can see the process of the retie. The entire video I had to speed up a bit because the full retie took about 8 hours, but I sped it up a bit so you can watch it within 8 minutes. And this slowdown is just to show you how I taught her how to do his retie. And she's a certified Microloc specialist. I trained her, she took my class, she did her certification, so she's very experienced, but I just wanted her to do it exactly the way I wanted his hair to look, because he's accustomed to seeing it looking a certain way, and I like his locks to look a certain way. So what do you guys think? Comment below and tell me what you think. How is she doing so far? I think she's doing a great job, but here or there, she got a little lazy, so I had to come in and wrap down some of the locks. And I apologize if the camera is kind of zooming in and out also because I had to adjust the height a couple of times and it went out of focus. So, but I think you catch the drift of what's going on. And I think I'm about to walk in right now and just show her how I want it done as far as the shaft. I'm kind of observing behind her to see how she's doing so far. And I noticed a couple of the locks were not wrapped down properly as much as I would like. And in order to go really long in between his lock maintenance appointments, I usually wrap down his locks very neatly and very tightly on the hair shaft. I wrap down the frizziness very tightly on the hair shaft so that he has a longer, neater look. So usually when I do his retie, it goes for at least 2 to 3 weeks looking very, very fresh before it starts to get frizzy and look like like it's getting older. He gets like at least 3 weeks out of the fresh look, and then it starts to get frizzy. But she's doing a really great job. I think her technique is down packed now. My son is getting all in the way. Clearly, you can see him in the background, keeping company with his dad and just kind of kicking back. But she's doing a great job. She's pretty fast, but she's not as fast as I am, especially when it comes to my husband's locks. I'm accustomed to doing his locks in like 4 to 6 hours, even if he goes months and months without getting it done. And I can do his locks by myself within 4 to 6 hours. And he just watches a movie, he plays games on his phone. He has the patience of Job for him to be able to sit even 4 hours for a guy. But he's gotten accustomed to it because I've been doing his locks for about 15 years now. So I think in the beginning stages, he had issues with sitting past an hour. But with Microlocs, he understands now that, it takes a little bit of work. And that's why he chooses to go, weeks and weeks before he gets them retied again. But the video is sped up again just so you can still see the process on top of his head. This man has every strand of hair. He is 50 years old, no thinning, no balding, no Stevie Wonder effect. He is going to have a full head of hair for years to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. My niece did a fabulous job. Here is the progress video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. She's coming up next. I'm going to do her retie and I'm going to share the video. This is before I cut his locks. This is after I cut his locks. And this is after his retie.